we are gathered here today to talk about the local marketing. And I'm assuming that most of you on this call are coaches and part of our community, so hello. But even if you are not a coach, this is still applicable to you if you have your own business of any kind. So I am going to start sharing again. Sorry, guys, I'm having lots of issues today. Anila, I'm going to take you off video because for some reason I'm not able to change who's showing, and this is weird. All right, local marketing. By the way, if you have any specific questions as we go along, Anila has kindly volunteered to keep an eye on chat, so please add them. Otherwise, I'm going to go through my slides and hopefully talk about things that are relevant. So what is local marketing? It's literally marketing, but targeting customers within a physical radius of where you are. So I'm in Chicago. I'm in the suburbs. For me, local marketing would most likely be the kind of entire Chicagoland area, which is quite large. So I'm not putting a specific radius on this definition because it does differ place to place. So if you look at the kind of official definitions, local marketing defines this area as anywhere between 50 kilometers to 100 miles, which is pretty big spread. So just think of it, for the purpose of this webinar and for the purpose of anything that you're doing for your own business, the location, the local marketing refers to the physical area where you are willing to interact face-to-face with your customers. And if we go back to our little Mentimeter, which I don't know how to change to. Okay, that's cool. I'll show it in a sec again. So far, it looks like everyone's a bit balanced. Looks like interactions maybe skew a tiny bit more to online, and I'm guessing that is a leftover from COVID. But it looks like most of you are interacting with your customers kind of everywhere, offline and online. So as a coach, is local marketing important to me? Maybe, probably, because not everybody is interacting with customers in their own local area. Hence, then maybe, probably. So if you look at Cocharia, we're everywhere. However, if there's a customer in Chicago, will I go meet them? Of course I will. If we have a corporate assignment locally where one of our coaches is based, of course we would love to work with them. So we at Cocharia focus more on the global approach, but local marketing potentially is still relevant, especially if we want to leverage a specific coach in a specific location, excuse me. So I'm actually going to try to stop the share and go back to the Mentimeter to show you the results that we have so far. Yeah, so let's take a look at this. So is local marketing relevant to you guys? I'm guessing yes, across the board, because how do you interact with your customers? Everything's, I mean, yes, we're kind of, not totally in the middle, but kind of hovering in the middle. Most of us are interacting with people online as well as offline, in person. How you market yourself, some of you are doing it online, some are doing it offline. It looks like there's a bit of a bump on the offline. So maybe local marketing is more relevant than we thought for you guys. And then how people find you. It looks, again, like there's a bit of a bump on the left. So it looks like a lot of people are finding you online. And then there's this bump to the right, which tells me most likely referrals and other, face-to-face human type interactions. So yes, it is relevant to you. So before we go into specifics of local marketing, there's a little exercise that I want everyone to do. I'm hoping that it'll be easy for you to open another browser window. I want you to go to whatever browser you use and just Google your name, your business name, or your name. If you're an independent practitioner, then Google your name. I will wait for about 30 seconds, but I do want everyone to do this. because as you said, as you showed in the Mentimeter, people are finding you online and offline. So those of you who are having customers find you online, let's see what they're finding. So anybody want to volunteer, raise their hand and tell me what they found? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, Jennifer found her LinkedIn page. Awesome. LinkedIn, Insta, and Twitter. Awesome. So it sounds like you're finding some, okay, your company website. Excellent. Cool. So lots of people are talking about finding their social networks, which is wonderful. A few of you have found your company website, also great. Just going to promote Sylvester to panel. There he is. Okay. Okay, excellent. So you are finding some things that you control. So that's wonderful. The next question, though, based on the things that you're finding, which sounds like it's a lot of social media, some websites, awesome. Is it easy to get in touch with you? So if I searched for your business and or your name, if specifically you, then your name is what you want people to find. If I found a result, is it easy to then figure out how to get in touch with you? Just a quick yes or no. Lots of yeses. Awesome. Okay, cool. In that case, let's close the webinar. We're done. No, that's the best part, because you know, that's the first two things that matter when it comes to local marketing, right? So if you have people who, potential customers who live in your area, not only do they need to find you, they also then need to know what to do and get in touch with you. So that's excellent. And by the way, another question, I'm having lots of tech issues today, and maybe my brain just isn't on. Can you guys see both me and the slide? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Anila or Sylvester?
No, I can only see you. I cannot see the slide. And you
can't see my slide?
No, I can't. I see the chat and I see you.
How about now?
Now I can see both.
Honestly, I'm having a day.
Magda, now I can see both.
Excellent. My doggy got sick. He's fine. But I've had a bit of a stressful 48 hours. And like, honestly, my brain just is not working. But you're okay now, right, Sailor? Yes, it's gonna have surgery. Anyway, I digress. Let's go back to our lovely slides. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty. It is awesome that a lot of you are finding your websites. That's the first hurdle. And it's great that a lot of you can easily find a way to get in touch. Someone's asking for previous slide. I'm going to put these slides on our blog as usual. So don't worry if there's something you want to see and you don't catch it. It'll be on the blog tomorrow. All the slides will be up for download. But yeah, let's get into some specific things. So, okay, all of you, I'm assuming all of you, many of you, most of you are on your computer, which is awesome. But if you are on a computer and you did your previous little Google, if you did that on your laptop, do me a favor and do the exact same thing on your phone. Because the first thing that I wanted to point out is a lot of local marketing type activities, if they're online, they happen on phones, right? I'm not just talking about, you know, finding the cafe nearby. It's people in general are spending half their life on phones now. So it's super important that your site is mobile friendly. So people find you already, which is great. They need to be able to actually interact with you on the device that they are using. So if you have never done this, check your website, what it looks like on your phone. And there's this handy little tool from Google, which frankly, I'm just thinking you should do a whole webinar on just Google tools, because there's so many useful tools that Google provides for free for small business owners. But this particular one is your website mobile friendly. So again, I'll have these slides on the blog so you can grab these URLs. But essentially, this little website tests your website and shows you a preview of what it looks like on an average phone. And it flags any specific issues that it sees. So first and foremost, make sure that your website is accessible on all different kinds of devices. And if it's not, then if you don't know the next step of what to do, email me and ask me, and I'm happy to help. But in general, a lot of us have websites that are on WordPress, and I'm very guilty of this on my own sites, not Coteria, where they're just so freaking old that I haven't even checked them in years. Like it's yeah, I really should check them. But if you're on WordPress, there's tons of mobile friendly themes, as well as plugins to make your site more mobile friendly. So if it's not, it's an easy-ish fix. And if you are not on WordPress or on some other content management system that is easy-ish to update, then I suggest checking out a tool like Wix or Squarespace, which by definition are optimized for mobile devices so that your site shows up beautifully everywhere. Next one, and someone just added a comment actually. Someone says that the website is not mobile friendly, which is the reason why they use LinkedIn as the marketing platform. You know what? Great. I'm glad that you're utilizing LinkedIn to showcase yourself and communicate with potential customers. But that's just one point, right? And you're using LinkedIn because of a limitation that you imposed. A lot of people may not want to go on LinkedIn. They might, people have different preferences. So it's great that people can find your LinkedIn profile or your Facebook or your Instagram or your whatever. But, having one of these things is not the end all solution. You're probably missing out on customers. So I would say, even though LinkedIn is working for you, definitely get the website up to scratch, because I guarantee you're missing out on customers. But good job on LinkedIn. Okay, so my second tip, localize your website. What does that mean? So remember how I asked you in the beginning, can you find your website, or can you find yourself? And then is it easy to get in touch with you? So there are different ways to interpret that question, right? You built your social network profiles and you built your website, or at least you were involved with whoever built it for you. So you, the person who did that, how to contact you. So maybe you're a tiny bit biased, I would say, but as regular Joe Schmo off the street, someone who stumbles upon your website or your profile, can they easily then take the next steps to figure out, are you the relevant person for them to contact? And also, how do I get in touch with you? And I don't know this guy, full disclosure, happens to be in Chicago. The reason I took this screenshot was because last night I Googled life coach near me. So Google knows that I'm in Chicago area, and that's why I said near me, and it knew that it meant within my vicinity. So whatever Google defines as my location and my local radius, right? So I do not live near this address, about 20 minutes from me. So it's not super, super close, but it's doable. Just so happens this guy only works with men, so not relevant to me. But when I Googled life coach near me, his website is the first one that came up in natural search results. So, kudos, good job. And when I clicked on the website, this was the first thing I saw. So I did not dig around the site, so I'm not going to criticize it. It looks a bit old school for my taste, but the point is, at least if I'm someone who's looking for a life coach, especially for men, near me, I would have found this guy. And better yet, when I go to his site, it's really obvious that he's in Chicago. Better yet, it's really obvious that he's in Lakeview. And I know where Lakeview is. It's a neighborhood that's quite well known. So I can make a judgment whether this person is somebody that I want to get in touch with. So that's kind of one thing to think about localizing. But beyond that, even just having a contact page, even if it's not on your front page like this guy, having your contact page, make sure that you list where you are if that's important to you. So at Coacharia, we don't have offices, right? Everybody's in different places. We've never had an office. We don't plan to have one. But so we don't list we're in Chicago and Bangalore and London and Cape Town, like it, because it's not technically true. We don't have offices. We have people in those areas, and frankly, we have so many coaches around the world that if somebody from whatever place gets in touch with us, we can probably find a coach that would be that's either close to them or is willing to travel to where they are. So that's why you don't see those things on Coacharia's website. But for those of you and quite a few of you, said that you interact with your customers offline as well. It's probably important to show where you are. So if it is, make sure you do that. And there are other ways to kind of signal where you're located without just showing, I'm on Irving Park Roads or in Lakeview. You can also use your blog for that. So let's say it's, again, I'm in Chicago, and what's happening in Chicago? We just had, Earth Day's coming up, Earth Day. And that's important to me. I'm very pro-earth, pro-vegetables. So if I was doing something on my own side, I could do something around, how to get involved in Earth Day around Chicago. So I would actually put that as an article, let's say, on my blog, and I would put the word Chicago in the title, as well as talk about that in the body of the blog. So just think about, what content do you have on your site and how you can localize it. All right, next little tip is, I would say actually the most important of all of them, but I put it there because for those of you with websites, you want to make sure your websites are up to scratch, but you need to claim your local directories. The reason I focus on Google My Business is because it's the most important one, I think, no matter where you are in the world, because Google, let's be honest, is ingrained in all parts of our lives, especially our search lives. So if your customers in any way, shape, or form ever look for you or something that you happen to do online, you should have a Google My Business profile. And do I have a screenshot of this? No, I do not. That's okay. If you ever Google for something, you know how on top of the screen you get advertising usually, and then you have the search results that are not ads. A lot of times on the right side of Google search results, you will, on a laptop that is, you will see a panel that looks kind of like what's here on the screen, this Chicago Music Exchange. That's where Google My Business results will show up. So that panel, the information panel, it does a lot of different things. So for example, if you search for my name, which you would have seen in the last webinar, where we basically showed how not good I am at my own social media. If you look at the last webinar, you'll see that if you Google my name, you will see me come up as an author because I have a children's book. It's called Sailor's Tale, and Google has decided that the most important thing about me online is the fact that I'm an author, and that's fine with me because it's a great book. You should buy it for your kids. But I'm hoping that over time, Google will also think that me as CEO of Coacharia is important, and perhaps me as a coach is important. But for now, that's what my information, me Magda, says. For Coacharia, um, we do get a business panel without the addresses, again, because we don't have physical offices. But for you, if you're looking, if local marketing, if being in a location, um, in a vicinity is important to you, you should definitely add in your address. And even if you don't, you should still claim the Google My Business account, because Google has, this thing that if you use its tools, it's going to be nicer to you when it comes to search results. So even those of you who have answered, on the Menti poll, that you interact with your customers mostly online, um, and people find you mostly online, but offline isn't important. Even for those people, I highly recommend that you you claim your ownership of this directory. Because it's still a way people can contact you. So the person who talked about earlier about LinkedIn being the way that they interact, well, check out this screenshot, right? You will get a little button that leads to your website. It's a free, and this is free, by the way. This is all free. If you link your phone number, you'll get a call button. If you choose to take messages, you'll get a message. Like all these things that you see on this post, these are all customizable by you, and you can choose what to display. If you have multiple locations, it'll also show multiple locations. So you definitely should do this, because then, first of all, you get more exposure and you can interact with people where they are. They don't have to even search for your site, in some ways. They can just literally click to call or message you. But the other thing that's really important here is the little star reviews. Whether we like it or not, that's part of life. People are going to rate you. At Coacharia, I've actually had a few kind of like facepalm moments where people confused us with somebody else, and we've gotten terrible reviews. I don't know what they thought we were, but they were not our customers. They didn't even know we existed, and I tried everything to talk to them, and they would not take the review down. So you will see some bad reviews of Coacharia. Hopefully, they're all, just the mistakes. But point is that people are going to review you. People are going to rate you, whether you like it or not. And I don't know how this works, so do not quote me on this part. But Google's algorithms are smart. And even if you don't create a Google My Business account, there's a chance that your business will still appear in these listings, because Google has figured out that Magda's coaching agency is a thing that exists. And through the different properties on the internet, it has figured out my address, for example. This might still appear. So I would rather be able to control what it says versus let Google decide what it says. So if there's one thing you do after this webinar, one thing, go to google.com/business and claim your business. Offline, online, I don't care where it is, just claim it. The other ones are on here. Those are optional. Google is not. Clear? Clear. All right. Next little tip on local marketing. Localize your content, not just your website. So at the very beginning, a lot of you talked about finding your social media profiles when you Googled yourself. I'm not saying give away your home address if your home office is where, where you're currently based. I for sure don't want to do that. But there's different ways to signal which area you kind of service. So this is Switchism. This is Tracy, one of our associate trainers, and this is her business. And she's based in Vancouver. So I might not know what Fisherman's Wharf, Victoria is, but to people who are in Vancouver, that will mean something. Just like I knew that Lakeview meant something in Chicago. So again, if local marketing is important to you, utilize these little opportunities to, if you're going to put up an image on Instagram, tag it. Maybe don't put your street address, but maybe at least your city. Something to show that this is kind of where you're focusing. Um, Same goes with advertising. So any of you who are using any sort of online advertising, so especially search or display. Long story short, we'll do another webinar on this because it's a whole big topic. But if you are dabbling in online advertising and your physical vicinity is important to you for customers, um, in the ad copy, you can mention the city. You can target by physical locations. So there's location targeting is what it's literally called in the advertising world. Just look at your ads from a perspective of your potential customer. Are they communicating what you want them to communicate? Are they going to find you? And if all your customers are anywhere in the world and you don't care, you know what? Ignore this part, right? But if you think there's an opportunity for you to leverage your local market, which for most coaches, let's be honest, it is, because we're not all celebrity coaches. Frankly, I don't think any of us are on this webinar. And if you are, let me know so we can showcase you on Coach Aria's website. But if you're not a celebrity coach, you probably care about this stuff. So mention your location-ish in a way that still keeps your privacy, but signals where you are. I talked about blog before, so referring to neighborhoods, local events, just things that show people that you're in a city. Sponsorship. Look, I haven't done this for Coacharia, and I haven't done this for myself individually, but I've done it in other companies where we've done quite a bit of local sponsorship, kind of grassroots sponsorship, so to speak. I'm not going to recommend anything specific. I will give you a resource later with some ideas so that you can, figure out maybe what you can do locally. But it's worth checking out. So, I mean, I've literally, I think about my local farmers markets even. In my area, the farmers markets tend to skew towards people who are more aware of, I think all of them actually, health and self-care, and they're willing to pay for fresh produce, right? Like there's a reason they want to support farmers. That's the reason they go to the farmers market, not because it's the closest grocery store. So even though it may sound a little weird, like I'm not saying go and have a booth and say, hey, I'm a coach, I'm going to coach you right now. But if you offer meditation classes, for example, I don't know, maybe that's something that's relevant. I'm just pulling ideas out of thin air, so maybe don't write those down. Point is, you should understand who your potential customer is and where you can potentially find them. So if you know where to find them, go where they are and experiment with this. If it doesn't work, don't do it again. Yes, hi, someone's talking to me. Whoa, Sylvester, hi.
There's a doubt, like, is Google My Business free or paid service?
Oh yeah, no, I thought I answered it. Sorry. Google My Business is free, 100% free. With all things Google, there's a paid version of something. So yeah, Google My Business is free. I believe that there are kind of like upselly things that you can pay for. I've never actually used those. So as far as I'm concerned, everything that has to do with what I'm talking about is free on Google. So I talked about advertising a little bit earlier. Advertising obviously is paid, but literally like all of the different platforms have small business incentives. Even Google, I believe if you just go to google.com/ads or advertising, probably both of those, either of those, there'll be a small business offer that you can claim. So usually Google is like $100 free. On Bing, I know it's like $50 free. I think Facebook even has small business advertising dollars that are free. And what's really cool about that, obviously they do it because it's good marketing for them, right? They get you in the door and hopefully you spend the free money they give you and then you spend some more. So they're happy about that. But what's really cool about utilizing those free marketing or those free advertising dollars for local marketing is that they're actually cheaper. So if I literally paid for the keyword coach training program for like all over the world, I don't actually know this is the right answer, but let's say it's like $10. Okay. If I then narrowed down that I want to advertise on that keyword only in America, only in the US, that's probably going to go down to, let's say, like $2. But if I do it in only for Chicago, it's going to be even smaller. And what's really cool about the advertising, local targeting and advertising platforms, you can go down to like several block radius. So if I wanted to, I could literally advertise to people in like my 5-block radius. It's kind of scary, but also kind of cool if that's what's important to you. So yeah, Google My Business, free, advertising, free to try. Obviously, you got to pay for it later. And yes, someone's asking about slides. 100%, I'll put these slides on our blog. I can put up actually right after this webinar, and then when we have the recording, we'll stick the recording up there too. All right, next, I think, yeah, okay. Got 2 more tips. Partner up. So, okay, this again is just an example. Literally what I did was I Googled yoga studios, I think. And I got this website, Yoga Journal, just to see kind of different synergies. And yoga came to my mind because, you know, at Coacharia, we do teach the spiritual side of yoga, not the actual poses. But a lot of our coaches, we talk about meditation as well, right? It's something that we believe is very, very useful to us and to our clients. And quite a few of our coaches, they also do meditation, or they also do yoga, or they also do Ayurveda. Like there's a lot of different people who do a lot of different things. Same goes, this is, you know, leading towards one direction, but on the opposite end of the spectrum, like some of our coaches do like local type segments on TV channels locally, or they partner with a university to deliver guest lectures on a particular topic. So what I'm trying to focus on here, this partnering up thing, is, you know, think about synergies. So like, what are the things that you do that go in tandem with something, another business that also exists in your physical area? That's one way of looking at it. And a second way of looking at it is, who is my customer? And what does my customer like to do? What is she into? And you know, yoga came to my mind because, again, it's people. Some people do yoga because it's a physical exercise, and a lot of them will join a specific, like a studio chain or a gym or something. But if I think about like private yoga studios that are in a particular area, those usually have higher memberships. So I'm thinking, okay, it's someone who can afford to pay for services to, you know, better themselves. Then I look at maybe the schedule of this yoga studio and see, like, are they only in the evening, i.e. for busy professionals who work during the day, or are they spread out during the day, meaning that, you know, they've got a larger audience that is willing to shell out this membership fee. And I'm thinking as I'm talking, right? So again, don't take anything like this as gospel. I'm just trying to show you my kind of train of thought. So I'm thinking about, you know, disposable income, people who focus on self-development, self-care, who recognize that there's ways that others can help them be better. It's not just, I'm going to do things on my own. And to me, that sounds like the kind of person who probably would be open to coaching and working with a coach. So, you know, if there's a private yoga studio near where you are, maybe pop by and maybe say, like, is there like a group coaching session you can do around whatever? Maybe it's moms who are dealing with kids being stuck at home for the past year and they are going crazy and pulling out their hair, and they're coming to yoga because it's the only thing that relaxes them. Well, wouldn't it be nice to tack on a coaching session where they can also vent about this stuff a little bit? Maybe the nutritionist nearby. You know, just think outside the box. Think about like those potential congruency, either in terms of what you do for your business and or who is your customer and where can you find them so that you can interact with them. And my last tip in local marketing, get social and speak up. There's so much stuff that's happening where coaches can get involved. And again, this might not be scalable, right? So I'm not saying go and find every opportunity in your area where you can be a speaker and then hopefully get one customer. Just like with the partnerships, think about where is there synergy? Where is there alignment potentially? So the first thing that came to my mind was actually Rotary clubs. I put that second because I didn't want to focus on Rotary. But what is Rotary? Rotary is a bunch of small business owners like yourself. So at the very least, you might meet some people who understand where you're coming from, but you'll also meet business owners who maybe they have staff that need coaching. Maybe they need coaching. Maybe they need a training program. I mean, there's a Rotary club in basically like every town on the planet. Maybe it's not the one that's local in your suburb, but maybe it's 2 suburbs down. You can find local Rotary clubs or whatever this kind of community thing is in your area, your local business community. Go to their website and find local chapters, see where they meet, find the contact. It's not going to hurt. The reason Rotary came up to me is because I'm a former Rotary scholar. So I got a scholarship from Rotary to go to grad school. So part of my obligation to Rotary as a thank you for the scholarship was when I was abroad, when I was in Australia, I used to go to different Rotary clubs. And what was really funny is what I was supposed to do is talk about my background, my family, how I got to learn about Rotary, et cetera, et cetera. But it just so happened that I've always been in digital marketing. So even, what was it, like 17 years ago for grad school, this was after I worked at Google. So every time I went to a Rotary club and I started with, my background and they saw the word Google, there was no further conversation about anything other than, okay, well, what do I do for my business? How do I utilize Google? Before Google even had all these tools. So I know for a fact that Rotarians will care about, growing their own business and those kinds of things. So they're, good audience for you. Other places I would check out is local libraries and bookstores, because that's also where people tend to congregate. And again, like if you're more into life coaching, then perhaps, libraries or bookstores or community events, or your local parks and recreation community department, whatever it's called in your area. Maybe that's the great place to pop by and see, what are they doing in terms of events? How can you contribute? Where can you potentially tack onto something that's already happening? Whereas, maybe if you do more business coaching and that's your focus, maybe Rotary clubs are the thing to focus on. If nothing else, I also put meetup.com on there. If you've never been to meetup.com, just check it out. It's literally people getting together around a common thing. And again, right now, the world is crazy, right? Everything's online. But the point of meetup is to do things in the physical offline world where we actually talk to each other. So like my mom went to some English as second language meetups where she got to talk to people who are also immigrants and their English is great. I've been to, I joined a volleyball league once through Meetup. It was just people who wanted to play volleyball on the beach and just show up. So there's, things like that, all the way through to dentists of the North Shore of Chicago. I don't know. Point is, check out meetups. If nothing else, then for ideas of what kind of groups exist in your area where you can potentially reach out to them and interact and or partner. If nothing else, you get ideas. So I highly recommend checking that out. And I will put these resources on the blog. A lot of what I talked about is actually from this first little link because it is awesome. Like HubSpot made its name, it's a software, but it's made its name because of content marketing. They were the ones who pioneered sharing all the kind of how-to guides that we all now know and love everywhere. So if there's anything marketing related or sales related or customer service, frankly, related that you have a question about, chances are HubSpot has a guide for it and it's free. So check it out. I highly recommend it. Cool. I'm going to stop share and then I'm going to reshare my Mentimeter again to see kind of where we ended up with all of our answers. Cool. So yeah, we kind of ended where we started. So everyone's kind of in the middle, meaning they're interacting offline and online. And the reason I was asking about this is to show you that there's online and offline things that you can do in terms of local marketing, but also that since a lot of us are, or at least in an ideal world, interacting with our customers offline, local marketing is important to you. It is relevant to you. You should be taking care of how do people not just find me in my business, but how do people in my physical vicinity that I am willing to travel to, how do they find me? And, oh, we did not get too many answers for this one. That's okay. So I'm not going to go through it. But those of you who are doing things locally, good job. Keep it up. All right. Questions, comments. Again, sorry I'm a little disheveled today. It's been a challenging couple of days, but I hope this is helpful. I will share this on our blog, but I'm here. Questions, comments? Anyone? This was helpful. Thank you. And pop quiz. What is the one thing you're going to do today? One thing. Someone answer on panelists and attendees. Yes, you're going to Google my business. Awesome. And someone's already done it during this. Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Google business. Before that, figure out which business. You have so many. Okay. Look, you can do multiple ones, right? So what's great about the Google tools, these guys are going to make money off of you. Okay. Let's be on the same page. They figure out that offering all these free tools and things is going to lead to business for them. So they are very, very happy to offer them for free. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, because it's free, maybe it's not good enough, or when's the upsell coming? The upsell's coming, but it's coming because you're going to see results and you're going to see benefits and you're going to be happy to then continue growing with Google or these other ones because it's already working for you. So kind of, get past that first of all. And that's also why you can do this for multiple businesses, right? So Cocharia right now is just Cocharia. But you're hearing this here first. We're launching a portal for young people under 25. So kind of piggybacking on the success of our youth leadership program, we'll have a separate business for that. So guess what? I'm going to list the new company in there as well. And so can you guys. Just hop in there. Honestly, like if something is not free, I promise Google is very explicit about where the paywalls are. So yeah, keep adding the companies. Once you add them, just play around, add in your social profiles. If things apply to you, like office hours, add those. Just play. Like, honestly, you can't really go wrong, right? If you do something that you want to undo, then you just delete because it's under your control. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's probably the thread that I will keep going back to in all things marketing. Stuff's going to happen. Online, offline. People are going to talk about you. People are going to look for you. People are going to make opinions about you. They can do that in a vacuum or somewhere that others control the content, or they can do it on platforms, websites, whatever, where maybe you're in control, or at least you have access to interact with them. So when they look for your business, it's your prerogative. It's in your best interest and your customers' best interest, frankly, if they can find portals, social networks, websites, Google My Business panel, whatever, where they can reach you. And hopefully it's going to lead to good things and to business. But even if it's someone who just wants to vent, who, I don't know, you didn't say goodbye to them properly when they called you. I mean, I've had that. And they're going to go and start bashing you somewhere online, they might as well do it in a spot where you can at least respond to it, where you can have your voice heard and hopefully turn that customer into an advocate. But none of that is going to happen if you don't go to Google My Business and claim your company, and if you don't claim your social media profiles, etc., etc. Cool. That's all I got. Sylvester, is there anything? And Anila, thank you so much again for popping by. Is there anything in the chat that can help us questions or that I missed?
Sorry, I don't think so. Sorry.
Okay, fine. You
Um,
guys, I have 10 minutes. Somebody ask me a question. It's okay if the rest of you leave. It's just so weird being on the screen by myself. Okay, how important is it to still have a website? That's a great question. I think it is important. As much as the world is changing and as fast as it's changing, it's not totally changing. So I personally don't foresee a world in the next 10 years at least where we're like, oh, who cares about my own website? I'm just going to rely on third-party services. So I think it's essential to have a website, even if it's just like a business card, right? And every time I say things like this, I'm like, holy crap, my own website is such a disaster. And my blog, I have not blogged in like 6 years. Okay, I need my own to-do list. But yeah, I think it's important. I think you need to have the website, if nothing else, as your business card, if nothing else, so that there is content that you are in control of. Even if you look, every week, some other of these social networks is in the news for something. Facebook got banned in Australia. Like you couldn't share any news in Australia for, I think it was a week. Like these things happen. And when they happen, and that's the only place where you are present, they happen to you whether you like it or not. So better have a place where people can find you if things beyond your control happen, at the very least. But at most, what's great is that when you have your own website, you can take customers on a journey, right? You can, when they land on your homepage, you can focus on the things that you think are important, and you can have the options that you think are going to be most helpful to your customers. And you can use different analytics tools, which I will do another webinar on, to understand how your customers are behaving once they hit your website. So, as your company grows, as you scale, there's different things that you can do with your website. But, even if you're starting out and it's just you as a coach, just think of it as your shop front, your business card. If somebody is walking down the street and finds your shop window, what do you want that to look like? That's your website online, right? Yeah. Other questions. What do you think about paid advertising? I think paid advertising is awesome and terrible, and I hate it and I love it. I've been involved in paid advertising, since paid advertising online was a thing. So I know it's a big moneymaker, but it does convert when it's done right. So I think that's where localizing is. If you're going to dabble in it, dabble in with very specific targeting first. Don't waste your advertising dollars, the free ones that you get from Google or ones you put in yourself. Don't waste them on kind of broad, big campaigns. Dabble and see what works first, and be as specific in terms of targeting. How important is it to post weekly? I am not sure if you mean on your blog or on socials. There's no rule as to how frequently you should post. You should post frequently enough that your audience stays engaged, whatever that means. So if it's your blog, it could be once a month, right? Like, what is the role of your blog? Whatever you do, I don't care if it's local marketing, if it's marketing, if it's anything in life, like there's a reason you're doing something, right? So when it comes to your business activities, what is the goal you are trying to achieve? You're all coaches, you know SMART goals. So you know about coming to agreement in a coaching conversation. Well, come to agreement with yourself when it comes to these tactical things or strategic things. What are you trying to achieve? By when? Is it realistic? How are you going to measure success? And once you have those goals in place, then you can decide on what things are right for you. So if I said to you today, I mean, is it good to blog every day? Of course it is, because you're generating great content. But if you're a one-man shop, one-woman shop, is it realistic? Probably not. So, you know, don't set yourself up for failure, set yourself up for success. On social media, I think, you know, it's much easier to post more frequently, and you should be posting daily and multiple times a day. But again, like, it's which networks are you active on? What are you able to do? Don't post for posting's sake. Like, I don't post much on Twitter. I used to long time ago when I was really into like all these different marketing things that were launching. Like, I'm talking like 10 years ago. But you know, last God knows how many years, I like reading things on Twitter. So I don't post at all. And maybe that's bad actually, because I should, because I could engage people there. So that's my other lesson for myself. I should really make a list of all the things I'm failing at. But you know, if your audience is on a network, then you should be engaging with them on that network frequently, or you're doing yourself a disservice. How do you know of portals where people go looking for coaches and we can feature our services similar to Coacharia Marketplace? Well, they don't really exist, which is why Coacharia Marketplace exists. So, and that's another note, like, we need to spruce that up and make that bigger. There's a lot of places where you can list yourself as a coach. So what's problematic is that they are paid, like pay to play ones, or they are for specific coaches who trained at a specific school, which is why we made our marketplace completely open. Because, like, yes, of course, we want all of you to come train with us. But if you don't, we're not going to say that you're not a good coach, right? Like, you went through training, you got credentialed. There's more than one place to become a good coach, even though Coacharia is the best. So if you went to a different school, you should check if they have a directory of some sort. I know ICF and EMCC both have them, but again, they're paid. I think it's an annual subscription. So instead of focusing, like, okay, if I don't know what those things are and you're asking me because you don't know what those things are, chances are your potential customers are not going to know what those things are. What they will know is how to use Google. What they may know is how to look you up on the Better Business Bureau if you're in the US, or, you know, I don't know the different international ones, but I'm sure every country has some sort of consumer business look up their license type thing. People are going to know to maybe look on Facebook or on LinkedIn for your name. They may know to check the right panel on Google. So just, they may go to Yelp, right? Like Yelp or Foursquare, depending on where you are, you might be using those things. So think about the places that your customer may be looking, not where you as a coach can find other coaches. That's not the goal, right? We know each other. You want people who don't know coaches to find you, the coach. So I would say if you do more life coaching and working with families, etc., definitely check out Nextdoor, check out Yelp. Those are things, and Facebook groups, local Facebook groups for sure. If you are doing more training or you work with businesses primarily, then you should definitely be on LinkedIn. And I don't just mean your profile, I mean a business page as well. Again, it's free. So make sure your profile is up to date so that they can find you Magda, but they can also find my company, Coacharia. So do both of those. But like as Kamal just said in chat, honestly, like I hate to say it, but Google is the most important thing that you need to worry about in any business. That's the that's the world we live in right now, for better or for worse. So we can either choose to ignore it, or we can utilize the tools that are there and free to help us grow. How about offering deals, discounts, freebies? You know what? That's a values thing, I think. So have we done those things at Coacharia? Yes, we have. But we've done them when we felt it was the right thing to do, in terms of, like, for example, recently, I screwed up completely in how we marketed and priced our electives. I know it's not just me, but end of the day, I give the directive and it just didn't work. So what we ended up doing is we ended up changing pricing for our alumni who want to take advantage of the group and team coaching electives that are starting this coming weekend. So is that a discount promotion? Yes, it is. We've done early bird type things as well, and you see a lot of that. I don't like them because of how a lot of people use them, and that is to artificially inflate their actual pricing. So again, I don't know where you guys are based. There's this carpet store around the corner from me, and I swear they're always having some sort of big blowout retirement sale, moving sale, St. Patrick's, I don't know, whatever it is. Like there's a sale every single freaking day. And I just like, what is your actual price? I don't think they have one. I think everything is just sale price. And then the regular price is just twice that. I don't like that. It doesn't sit well with me. It just confuses me as a consumer. So at Coacharia, like we made a decision that we're not going to be offering these kinds of things as a rule. And if we do, there's a damn good reason for it, and we're going to be transparent about why we're offering it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I didn't answer your question. I think maybe another way to think about it is, you know, what products do you offer, and can you bundle them, for example, and as you bundle, are you okay with making them cheaper? So, you know, it's much cheaper to keep a customer than it is to get a new customer, right? So if a customer pays you $100 for a coaching session, it's much easier for you to discount the next session or give them, you know, say like a referral. If you refer another person to me, they get a free session and you get a free session, like to reward their loyalty. I think that's really great. Rewarding loyalty is always amazing, no matter what business you're in. So think of it this way. But I wouldn't do like a blanket 50% off today because it's March. I mean, surely there's something else you can do, I think. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah, Black Friday sale. See, but that's another thing. Black Friday, when I moved to America in 1992, Black Friday was this thing that I learned about where all the crazy ladies went to Walmart at 5 a.m. and pushed each other for the coffee maker they don't even need because it was $10 off. Like that's what I thought Black Friday was. And then the internet happened and it became, you know, it morphed. And, you know, for the past few years, there's freaking Black Friday sales in Poland. Like they don't even, I mean, they do speak English because everyone speaks English now because the world's crazy. But like those aren't even Polish words, but they have Black Friday sales. There's no Thanksgiving, but there's Black Friday sales. It's like a global thing now. So what does that mean? Does that mean that your prices aren't good the rest of the year and I should wait until Black Friday to buy from you? I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. I kind of cringe at all these different sales now. Loyalty is different because loyalty, if you reward my custom of your business, my patronage, that makes me feel good. It makes me want to come back to you. It makes me want to tell my friends because I feel like I'm valued, right? That's one thing, but like sale, 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 I don't know. I don't know. Someone's asking about best keywords to help you in Google marketing. How long is a piece of string? I think we should do a whole webinar on SEO, so on keywords for non-paid, and then I think we should do a whole webinar on advertising, because honestly, like, it's such a big topic. But yeah, long story short, there is no right answer, because if there was one keyword or two keywords or 10 keywords, we'd all be competing for the same 10 keywords, and then that would inflate how hard it is to rank for those keywords, and then we all lose. So how we kind of talked about last month, we talked about personal branding, or branding in general. We talked about branding a few times. I think first and foremost, understand who you are. What do you stand for? What kind of services do you offer? How do you present yourself? Like, good luck finding me in a suit ever. Actually, today I wore a local t-shirt, not for me, but a pub that I went to in middle of nowhere, Australia, North Territory. In Australia, it was like middle of nowhere, I think like 300 miles from the closest thing, just because I thought it was cool, but I bought the t-shirt. So yeah, think about who you are, how you present, like all those things, like your values, your mission, all the things that kind of make up you and your business. Start there. And then think about, who is my customer, customers? Are they like me, or are they different? What words do I use to describe them? Where do they hang out, online and offline? Like, it's a bit of a word mapping exercise. And there's names for this, and we can talk about this, called, identifying your brand and your personas. But just in general terms, think about, who am I? Who's my business? What do I stand for? What products do I sell? Who is the person I want to buy those products? And hopefully that aligns. And from there, how do I describe that? So I can tell you right now, if I left Coacharia today, there's no way I would ever be Magda executive coach. I could be Magda how to self-coach yourself coach. So I would never focus on the keyword executive coaching. It's just not who I am. So when you do the kind of word exercise, mapping of who you are and your products and your customers, that's when you start figuring out what are the phrases, not just words, but phrases that describe me. And from there, that's kind of your starting point for what you do on your website, what you do with advertising, etc. But we can do a whole entire webinar on this, which we will. Yeah, you can do several webinars in SEO because it's overwhelming for one person business. Yes, it is. But you know what? It also isn't, because again, like in a coaching session, right? When you work with a client, there's the session and then there's the relationship, right? And a lot of things happen throughout the relationship. And during maybe the first session, you do want to come to agreement as to what is the goal at the end of the relationship, but you also have a goal for the session, right? And you look for, well, how do you know you reach that goal? And what are specific actions that the client's going to take? Same with SEO. The goal long term may be that you have 50% of your 1,000 people per month traffic or conversions, whatever, come from organic. But maybe, for the first month, the goal is that you are ranking for words to begin with, like, I kind of want to know, because there's still 40 of you here. Kind of just put yes if you are using Google Webmaster Tools. It's now called Search Console. Yes or no? Anyone using Google Webmaster Tools / Search Console? No, no. Yeah, lots of no's. So, and I won't call you out, but the person who said that it's hard to do SEO, are you using Search Console? I'm going to go with probably no, but let's see if she responds. And look, you don't know that it exists probably, and that's okay. But guess what? Search Console is the free tool from Google where you can see what your website ranks for. So if you think you're bad at SEO, how do you know you're bad at SEO? Actually, tell me maybe in the comment. Because if you're not using Search Console or the equivalent from Bing, or perhaps a third-party paid tool like Moz, M-O-Z, then you actually don't know how well you're doing in organic search. You're just guessing. So maybe we'll do SEO next time because it sounds like it's a topic that you guys care about. But anyone, okay, so your first thing you're going to do after you hang up is get your Google My Business. And maybe the second thing you're going to do for those of you who have websites, okay, because this doesn't work without websites. If you have a website, you're going to go to register your site, what's it called? Link, setup. I think it's setup. There's instructions, so I'm not going to go through it, just follow the instructions. Search, not each, Search Console. And the other thing you're going to set up is Google Analytics. So, and those products, again, both free, they work with each other. There's literally entire courses over multiple months that you can do on each of these, but I feel comfortable doing kind of like the Magda's Basics for Small Business version. So I will happily guide you through those. So Google My Business. Google My Business is number 1. Number 2, Analytics. Number 3, Search Console. And if you do your homework, then I will allow you to come back next month so we can talk about those. Yes, someone just mentioned there's also other things on Google. Honestly, like, again, Google knows how to make money off of us small business owners. They've created a crap load of tools and they are very good at monetizing them. Good for them, but also good for us because the tools are really great. Like, I hate that Google owns our lives, but at the same time, I've relied on Google tools in every job I've had, whether it's, you know, my dad's remodeling business or freaking multi-billion international software company that where I run marketing. Like, it's, yeah. Okay, I think I'm done. I think. Any other questions? But yeah, we'll tackle SEO next month. So same time, same place, first Wednesday of the month, we'll tackle SEO. No, we'll skim the surface of SEO. Because yeah, it is a doozy, but I have a presentation for that. So hopefully it'll help you get started.